Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. We are live for United Daily Live. It is 10:30 p.m. UK time, which means it's United Daily o'clock. And perfect timing as we go live and we get breaking news from Fabrizio Romano in relation to Andreas Pereira's move away from Manchester United, and he's heading to Lazio of Serie A. So, Andreas Pereira's move away from Manchester United is one of those that looks like it is going to be confirmed in the next couple of hours, as Fabrizio Romano has given it his famous "Here we go." We will get all the information on that loan deal with potential for an option to buy for 27 million euros, which is around 25 million pounds. Now, if United were to get that kind of fee for Andreas Pereira, I've got to say that is very, very good business. But obviously, that relies on Andreas Pereira having a good season at Lazio and them wanting to buy him at the end of the campaign. So still a lot of way to go for Manchester United to get that fee, but we will be recouping a fee for Andreas Pereira in terms of a loan fee, which will be nominal. And of course, it looks like Lazio will be paying his wages as well, which means good things for Manchester United as we finally get him off our wage bill. Now, obviously, Andreas Pereira, he's had his odd chances. He's definitely got the talent. He's just never done it in the first team. We saw him in the under-23s where he looked good and he looked, real quality in the under-23s. He looked like someone that could break through. He was one of my favourite people in terms of the academy players. I remember him and Timothy Fosu-Mensah breaking through at the same time and just wanting them to break through and get the chance in the first team. And Andreas Pereira maybe stagnated in the 23s. He had a few loan moves, didn't quite go to plan. And now it looks like his future is destined to be at Lazio in the Serie A for the next season at least. And we see how that move went for Chris Smalling. And maybe Manchester United have learned that we should have put an option to buy in the Chris Smalling deal, because Roma obviously want to buy him. And if we had that clause in the deal from the start, maybe we wouldn't be here in this situation with Chris Smalling wanting to go to Roma and them guys trying to lowball us on the transfer fee. So we'll be looking at Andreas Pereira's move to Lazio shortly. We've also got other news on Telles as well. Alex Telles potentially coming to Manchester United. We heard yesterday, breaking news while we were live on United Daily, that Telles' terms had been agreed between the club and the player's agent, but we were still hoping to get that fee agreed with Porto. United had a first bid knocked back of £12 million. Or 15 million euros, I believe it was, and Porto went closer to 18 million euros. So it looks like that's a deal that we should be able to get done. But United obviously dragging along and dragging their heels in terms of that deal for Alex Telles. I think they know the player wants to join them. The club want to sell because of the fact he's only got 1 year left on his contract. He can talk to clubs in January. He can leave on a free next summer. They will want to recoup some sort of transfer fee for Alex Telles, and they'll want to replace him as well. So United are hoping, they're sweating in the transfer deadline day as that comes on the horizon, and will take a lower offer for Alex Telles. Maybe that's what Roma are doing to us with Chris Smalling as well. But obviously we'll see how that one develops. We'll also hear news on United's bid for Sancho as well. We're expecting a bid this week. Has it gone in yet? No, it hasn't. But when will that happen? Daniel James wanting to stay at Man United as he continues to be linked with a move away from the club. He was also linked with a move to Sheffield United potentially as well. But nothing on that one yet in terms of proper credible reports in terms of Daniel James leaving United. So we'll get stuck into all of that very soon. But of course, as always, we have to go into an on this day on the 28th of September. And the 28th of September on this day in 2004. Now, this one's been reported quite a lot today, so you've probably already seen it on your social media. But on this day in 2004, the 28th of September, it was a Tuesday. I was at Old Trafford. It was a glorious evening. And Manchester United beat Fenerbahce 6-2. With Wayne Rooney scoring a hat-trick on his Manchester United debut in a Champions League win, a month short of his 19th birthday and a few weeks after he had become world football's most expensive teenager on his move from Everton. United knew what they were getting. Academy manager Paul McGuinness tells the club website, "Our under-9 side played Everton's boys one day and they absolutely hammered us. Rooney scored a few, but there was one that stood out. It was basically the classic overhead kick, the perfect bicycle kick, which for a kid of 8 or 9 years old was really something special." Rooney goes on to score 17 goals in 43 games for United that season and is named PFA Young Player of the Year. Remember the name, Wayne Rooney, making his Manchester United debut on this day in 2004 and going on to be Manchester United's record goal scorer, win every single trophy you can, become England's record goal scorer as well. And people still say he didn't fulfill all his potential, which is incredible, and it shows you just how good he was when he come through. But I tend to look back at Wayne Rooney's time with fondness. Some of the goals that I saw from him were incredible. He had it all as a player. Like, he could fly into tackles and win the ball. He could challenge, in the air aerially for headers. He could bring out sublime bits of skill and finesse in lobbing keepers, banging them in the top corner. He literally had it all, playing in the number 9 role. We saw him do that and score 30 odd goals in a season. We saw him playing the number 10 role on the left, on the right. He literally sacrificed himself for the club all over the place. But his footballing skills matched his work rate and his team ethic and his bulldog spirit and his tenacity. Like, the skills that he had were unbelievable. And one of those players that you just look back at and think, wow, Wayne Rooney, what a done. And to have gone and to have seen him throughout his career as well. You know what I mean? I was at the Bet365 when he scored that 253rd goal, and to then, madness. Hard-working player, never gave up. Stick to Andreas, please. Best English player ever. David Trent cannot defend. Gomez is suitable to a mistake. Skies still have Maddison, who saved a couple of goals from the Gooners. Wazza just brings a tear of joy inside me, says someone. Things were so good at United when Rooney arrived. Oh, the memories. Well, when he arrived, they were kind of up in the air, weren't they? The Glazer takeover was about to happen. It happened a year later. And we had all that kind of thing going on. Chelsea's takeover, their dominance in the league. There was a lot that went on around that time, and it looked like we weren't going to win the league for a couple of years. And then Fergie just built up this side that Rooney was a big part of. Ronaldo coming through. The signings of Van der Sar, Vidic, Evra were massive. And then accompanied with that with the players that were already there when Rooney came in, the Rios and that. Incredible stuff. But I remember at that time it was quite worrying that we weren't going to get the opportunity to win the league again. We've got another tweet from Fabrizio Romano. AS Roma are preparing a new bid to sign Chris Smalling from Manchester United on a permanent deal. Talks reopened with Manchester United. Smalling is pushing to leave and come back to Roma. So, boom, Fabrizio Romano must know that United Daily Live is live right now, as he's come through with 2 bits of news. As we hear, Andreas Pereira to Lazio is at the here we go stage, and AS Roma and their pursuit of Chris Smalling is looking like that is back on, and we're looking like getting a new bid in. Hopefully that new bid is a satisfactory one and United can get one step closer to getting another player off the wage bill. You get Smalling out, you get Pereira out, you get, I don't know, Phil Jones looks like he's not going anywhere, but you get Marcus Rojo out. You've already got Alexis Sanchez out. You've trimmed the squad a little bit in this window. There's still a few more there that you'd want to see gone by deadline day, or you could see gone even if you don't want to, like Diogo Dalot, Juan Mata potentially even. So there's a few players there that we could see move, and the talks are intensifying now around AS Roma's bid for Chris Smalling. So we hear from Fabrizio Romano, AS Roma are preparing a new bid to sign Chris Smalling from Manchester United on a permanent deal. Talks are reopened. Smalling is pushing to leave and come back to Roma. So we are going to have a very, very busy week on AdamMcKola TV, on Stretford Paddock. We was in the office today with the boys planning out our stuff for deadline day. It is going to be a well and truly busy one as we go right up until 11 o'clock. And we've also got you covered every single day throughout this week as well. It's a week today. But as we're here for the title of this video, Andreas Pereira from Manchester United to Lazio. Here we go. And that was the tweet we got from Fabrizio Romano 16 minutes ago. And he said total agreement has been reached on a loan with a buy option of 27 million euros. Salary will be shared and the medicals are this week. Now that came after we heard that Lazio's sporting director had confirmed talks were ongoing and the player was travelling in to Rome to meet up with Lazio and continue those talks and seal his move there. So Manchester United obviously looking like getting Andreas Pereira off the wage bill and off the books, or at least half of his wages off the wage bill. I imagine we'll be taking in a loan fee as well, and I imagine we'll be hoping that they activate that buyout clause next summer. Iglitare, Lazio's director of sport, said Pereira will arrive over the next 2 to 3 days. Now we heard that earlier on in today, so it coincides and it fits in with what we're hearing from Fabrizio Romano. We also heard from Simone Inzaghi, the manager of Lazio, and he said, I know him, he's a quality player who can give us a big helping hand. I don't want to talk too much about players who haven't signed yet. We'll see if he arrives or not. And that was a talk from Simone Inzaghi on Andreas Pereira. So obviously speaking him up, bigging him up, saying he's a quality player who can give us a big helping hand, and he doesn't want to talk too much about him yet because he hasn't signed. The typical go-to quote from managers when they're talking about players that they're about to sign. But Fabrizio's news obviously coming in. And Andreas Pereira, like I said, it's a weird one. I don't wish him any bad luck. I want him to do well when he's out there and when he goes into Serie A. And I actually think he could do quite well. The thing with Andreas Pereira is he's got the ability to ping one in the top corner, to thread for a great pass, to try off outrageous bits of skill. But the thing is, he overthinks things far too many times. He doesn't simplify it enough. And you'll see on many occasions his teammates, I've seen Martial at times, Rashford at times, get really frustrated with him because the ball isn't released quick enough. We know what he can do. We've seen it on various, whip free kicks in, do all sorts of things, but he doesn't do it enough. And that's because of his decision making. He's got the ability. I don't think he's just got the application, the mentality, the decision making to succeed at United. Now, he's had 35 appearances for Granada, 23 for Valencia whilst on loan. He's tried to get through at Manchester United. Played 40 games last year, scoring 2 goals. But it's clear he's never going to be first or even second choice for United. And it makes sense for us to let go of him. Now, the thing with this deal is he's got to perform well, because we could just see him end up, if he doesn't perform well, they don't take up that option to buy. He comes back, then what? United have got another player on their hands that we'll find it difficult to get rid of. But this talk is good, because as we've been saying all along, it's felt like United have needed to get a few players off the books before we could start to do our real business, which is disastrous considering we've left it down to the last week. It shows you, the lack of action and proactivity that we see from the board, from those involved in making these footballing decisions. They're just inept and they're really slow to do it. And we need to see it obviously happen quicker, but we can only deal with the cards that we've got at the moment. And at the moment, we need to get rid of these players. And it looks like slowly but surely we are doing that, as we see Andreas Pereira's move to Lazio all but sealed. And we get an update through on Chris Smalling from Fabrizio Romano as well, that his transfer to Roma is edging closer as talks have reopened with Manchester United, and Smalling is pushing to leave. So fingers crossed in the next 24 hours we'll get positive updates and confirmations of the Andreas Pereira deal, which, once Fabrizio says here we go, it's done. So it's a matter of time until till Manchester United announce that one, or Lazio do. And in terms of Chris Smalling, hopefully we get a bid accepted at some point soon in regards to that. Now, this is coming via United Report and the Daily Mail's Sami Mokbel, who says Manchester United are preparing to activate a 1-year extension option in Paul Pogba's contract. United are yet to discuss a longer extension to his contract, but they know they have a safety net of existing in his current deal. I imagine United would look to get that wrapped up once the transfer business is done and that transfer window is closed. It doesn't look like we have to particularly move very quickly to make that one happen, does it? So I imagine the Paul Pogba contract situation will be dealt with once the transfer window closes. Manchester United players believe Dean Henderson, this is coming from the same journalist, is closing in on David De Gea's position as first choice goalkeeper. A source says the battle is very, very tight. So that is coming from the Daily Mail as well. Make of that what you will. We're also hearing today, as the Guardian report, that Manchester United are closer to a formal bid for Jadon Sancho. And that there's also a confidence that a deal for Alex Telles will be completed as the player is keen to join and Porto need the finance generated by the transfer. We made our first official offer for £12 million. Porto want in the region of £18 million, but United believe a deal can be done. You'd imagine we'd end up agreeing something around 15 million, wouldn't you? As it seems like the common sense thing to do. They want to sell, he wants to come, they want to replace him before the transfer window closes, and United clearly want him. I see in that regard with Alex Telles, United are kind of holding all the cards with that one, because if they don't sell him now, they're going to get no money for him. So it's a common sense thing for them to sell Alex Telles. So I get it with that one. As for Jadon Sancho leaving it this late, and then you hear stories like this from Mike McGrath from the Daily Telegraph, who says United have made an inquiry for Ismaila Sarr, who is among the options considered as a Jadon Sancho alternative. Watford would only consider a permanent deal, and United have not commented when asked. Now, obviously, that goes hand in hand with United being in a situation of putting in a bid for Jadon Sancho. Now, I don't really buy into too much of this Ismaila Sarr talk. I imagine if we were going to sign, or I hope if we were going to sign an alternative, we would have made that decision by now. We would have definitely made that decision by now. We've got a super chat from Ina Egeland who says Dalot to AC Milan via Sky Sports. So let me just bring up the news on Diogo Dalot, see if there's anything in regards to that. I haven't seen anything online about Diogo Dalot, but again, that's a possible move that you could see happening. Diogo Dalot's been linked with a few clubs, PSG. Who's the other one that he was in? Barcelona, Juventus. He was linked with quite a few clubs. Actually, I see it now. United Report have just tweeted it as well. Cheers, Ina. He says AC Milan have made a loan plus option to buy offer for Diogo Dalot. United will prefer to sell. Milan will discuss making a new offer or looking for alternatives. So it looks like Diogo Dalot could be on the move as well. As Fabrizio Romano has also tweeted about that. AC Milan have asked for Diogo Dalot on loan with a buy option. Man United want to sell him on a permanent deal. No agreement reached at this moment. So we're hearing talks coming in now for Diogo Dalot. Andreas Pereira's move's almost done. Chris Smalling's one's edging closer. Can we get a deal done for Marcus Rojo? Can we get a deal done for Phil Jones? There are loads of Man United players that could be heading out of the door in this next 7 days, as well as, hopefully, 1 or 2 players coming into Manchester United as well, in the form of maybe Jadon Sancho, in the form of maybe Alex Telles. We hear Alex Telles has agreed terms with Manchester United, and we're just waiting to see the club agree a deal with the with FC Porto. Obviously, Jadon Sancho, we're hearing United are about to make a bid. Now, this is what ESPN reported earlier. Again, take it with a pinch of salt. United have an agreement with Sancho, still fighting in the final days of the window. May go for Dortmund demands, but would be a structured deal. Alex Shaw from the ESPN continued by saying he genuinely doesn't know how this one will end. And that's how I feel as well. I'm pretty confident we will make a bid for him. I'm pretty confident we go in for him and make that move happen. But I'm also a little bit sceptical as whether it does, because there's so little time left. But United must be confident if they're going to leave it down to this time, surely. So we're hearing talks. United are going to make that bid. Hopefully that will be tomorrow or at some point from there. But right now, we're hearing of Diogo Dalot to AC Milan. Talks are ongoing. Chris Smalling to Roma. Talks are ongoing. And Andreas Pereira to Lazio. Here we go. all that news has been reported by Fabrizio Romano, as Manchester United look like we could be getting rid of a few more bits of dead wood. I wouldn't even say Diogo Dalot is dead wood, to be totally honest with you, because I think there's a player in there, and I think he'd go on to have a very good career. It's just that at Manchester United, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. At the moment, Luke Shaw's our first choice left back. You've got Brandon Williams knocking about. You've got Alex Telles potentially coming in. Where does Diogo Dalot get regular football? And I think Diogo Dalot should be getting regular football. I think he's good enough for that. I'd rather have Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, you know, but I think he's a good player. Not good enough. Sorry, not the kind of player that should be sitting on the bench though. So I think the best thing for him is to move. And if that was on loan, I actually wouldn't mind that, because it leaves the potential for him to come back to United. Because like I say, I still think there's a player in there. But if we can get funds in for him, 20 million, 15 million, I think United take it. Because it's kind of like the Reguilon deal from Real Madrid. They had Mendy, they had Marcelo. You know, yes, Reguilon's a very good up-and-coming fullback, but is he going to play for you right now? He isn't. So you may as well cash in on him. If you can get that kind of loan or option to buy back in that deal, then fair enough. But I don't think it's the end of the world if you don't. You can't just hold on to everybody at the club at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So it looks like loads of United players could be heading to Italy as it stands. And will Manchester United get their targets? Alex Telles from Porto, Jadon Sancho from Dortmund. Will they end up at Manchester United this summer? Remains to be seen, but of course we will have it all covered here on AdamMcKola TV. So make sure you're keeping it locked. You're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Are there any stories that I've missed out today? Let us know in the comments below. There's 1,300 of you watching now. 10% of you have liked the video, so let's make that 50% of you liking the video if we can. And I know at least 40-50% of you ain't subscribed, because I see the stats. So do me a favour and hit that subscribe button for me right now. We're trying to hit 100k ASAP, and we're very close to 90k right now. So this is what's going on. Andreas Pereira to Lazio, here we go. Talks ongoing for Smalling to Roma, Dalot to AC Milan, Telles to Manchester United. Jadon Sancho, are we going to get that bid anytime soon? Or are United just going to leave it until October the 4th and shred all of our nerves? But also, we hear Daniel James, could he be in for a late move? If United get Jadon Sancho, does Daniel James think, I'm out of here, I'm not going to be getting regular football, I need regular football? Possibly. We've got a full story now in relation to Diogo Dalot. So let me get this full story up from Sky Sports. Need it to translate first. 1 second. Let this translate on my phone. There we go. So Milan transfer market, first offer for Diogo Dalot of Man United. The Rossoneri want to shore up their defence. On the outside, the hottest name is that of the Portuguese. Remember, this is translated. But United are willing to sell him only outright, while the first offer is that of a loan with the option to buy. He is the favourite among the central players, but the sale of Paqueta is needed. So that's what we're hearing. And they've found the right profile to reinforce the external defence department. I imagine that's wider, fullbacks. And that is Diogo Dalot. Wesley Fofana, they also want him from Saint Etienne. And they need to sell Lucas Paqueta if they want to make that move happen. So again, a lot of deals are linked to clubs selling other players. 10 COVID-19 positive tests in the Premier League, says Ross Murphy with a super chat. That's the highest it's been, isn't it? Since like the early testing weeks. Because I remember they got it down to like 0 or 1 or something at times. So yeah. But as you can see, today's Monday. We've had a busy day. We've got 7 days left to go of all this stuff. It's going to be absolute carnage this week for Manchester United fans. And it's either going to be heartbreak or jubilation at the end of it if we get our players. But one thing that shouldn't happen is those of you that have been trying to criticise the Glazers and Woodward and all that, don't stop if you just get a signing that you want. Because that's what most of you are complaining about. 1 What's happening here? You can't hear the mic, or
You've got 1, 2, 3.
the mic's working for me, so I don't know what you few are talking about. I think your earphones have fell out. Andreas with the super chat says the sad thing is that Ollie will get sacked if he doesn't get the players that he wants. That is what the club has become. No football sense from the owners. Yeah, but I think it's not no football sense. It's this is what they want. They don't want us. They haven't got the desire to win the league, and that is the problem. They want just to be sustainable in Champions League football terms, and all that stuff. So, you know, when you look at Roman Abramovich, he wants to win the league. That's why he's spending all of that money. Go back in for Grealish, says Daz. Oh, I've been saying Grealish all summer and we never got him. It's going to end in heartbreak, says Kieran. All our Deadwood is going to Serie A with options to buy. Hopefully they're successful, so teams want them like Smalling and Sanchez. I imagine that's why we put these options to buy in there, so that we're not left like we are with Smalling negotiating a deal with a player that only wants to go to Roma. We can't really entertain competition because he doesn't want to go there. And Roma are trying to bend us over for a cheaper price. So, yeah, it's annoying. And hopefully this kind of thing will see us get round that. But 27 million euros, 25 million pounds potentially for Andreas Pereira if Lazio want to activate that option to buy next summer. It's not a decent fee at all, is it? It's not a bad fee at all, is it? Have faith, says Paul Gray. Suppose you've got to try and have a little bit of faith that will get the business done, even if it's late with these bell ends in there. So fingers crossed we'll be able to do just that. Let's have a look. Fabrizio Romano needs to calm down. Says Stretford Paddock, AC Balak Diogo Delo on loan. That's a good tweet. Italy funding Sancho, says United reports Elliot, which is another good take on it. Yeah, United are just absolutely cashing in all their chips right now and trying to exchange them for Jadon Sancho. And we've got 7 days left of the window. No matter what happens, we'll have it covered here and on Stretford Paddock. So make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. We'll be back with United Daily Live every single day at 10:30 p.m. Tomorrow we'll also have the Brighton preview for you as well. And of course, if anything else happens officially, we will have breaking news on AdamMcKola TV. So make sure you're keeping it locked, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. For now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here. Actually, Justin Harry's super chat can't be that sad. He said, Harry said, how good was Grealish against Fulham tonight? Glazers are too busy in the NFL and real estate to worry about United. And Jack Grealish was mint and he should be played for Man United. It's unfortunate he's not. Anyway, thank you for your super chat, Harry. Thank you to everyone for watching. See you in a bit.